Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show. I will have some announcements and a recap before we dive straight into things. Obviously, you can hear that my bird is very excited about tonight. He's just tweeting away in the background. So get him to be quiet. But before I do those announcements and recap, Nick, would you go ahead and kick off some player introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Embers of White Ash, the Tabaxi Sunsoul Monk.
Oh, we're doing subclasses now.
We have subclasses. I figured now's a good time to start.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kay, and I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is the Elvish Circle of the Land Druid. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Melissa, and I play Tuppence Wiseacre, who is a pixie bard. Are we supposed to say our circle
It's up to you. Dealer's choice.
College, Bard College.
I'm from the Court of the Stars. Oh, our Bard College? I am in
Also, that's not the case. Or that's not what you told me.
That's not exactly true.
That's not true, is it?
You're making stuff up now. Stalling
No,
for time.
you told me Court of the Sky, but
Court,
I mean,
Court of the Sky, that's it. Sky Stars, you know.
yeah,
Court of the
close,
Sky.
but not quite the same.
Nick,
But that's not the
threw me
Bard
all
College.
off.
College of Glamour, right?
College of Glamour.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Rook, who is a changeling armorer artificer.
Look what you did, Nick, by introducing this.
Yeah, that's, we should have discussed this ahead of time. That's going to take a little bit of practice for those of us who have 10,000 words in our subclass.
I think for Elwyn, I'd just say Tundra Druid. Maybe? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because I am a subclass of a subclass of a
Yeah.
class. Yeah. The Arctic and Arctic.
Oh, Arctic, that's what it is.
Druid. Yeah.
Is Tundra even an option?
Maybe not.
Well,
Maybe that's a
Tundra is
ranger thing.
Oh,
Not it's Arctic. Yeah.
Anyways, those announcements. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom pixie lineage, which Melissa is playing in the form of Tuppence. The character portraits, which you'll see on the info cards and all over the layout, were drawn by an artist named Krista Porter, who goes by @KristaPorter with 2 R's on the end on Twitter. If you need a refresher on everything that's going on in the campaign, you can check out our campaign wiki at World Anvil. You can also check the video description for links and information about everything I just mentioned and more, as well as some links to some Stop Asian Hate and Black Lives Matter resources. Follow us on Twitter at Antiheroes Anon. And other than that, I just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more. So with all that said, let's roll the intro video. Welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Silver Seekers have discovered a plot by the Dragontooth Brotherhood to steal a clutch of dragon eggs from a caravan in a few days' time. The governor of the city, Nyasa, is currently working on defending her city against the distractions the Brotherhood have put in place in the form of monsters to be set loose on the city. But corruption within the wardens, uncovered by the party, has shaken her faith in their defenses. The Seekers resolve to focus their efforts on protecting the caravan itself, but a shadowy and deadly figure tailing Rook makes Elwyn wonder if her group has a similar trust problem. And so that's where we're going to pick up today. The group of you had just reassembled at Harbor Watch Citadel, this large citadel overlooking the Horizon Shroud Harbor, basically able to see all the ships coming and going from one position. Basically the governor's residence within the city. And the group of you had regrouped there after doing a little bit of reconnaissance and espionage within the Imperial Wardens, and also trying kind of desperately to locate the ringleader of the Brotherhood within the city named Smolder. And now you've regrouped, and basically you have a room to yourselves. What would you like to do?
Have we given the report to Nyasa yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I guess one of the things that you could do is just flag someone down and have Nyasa come this way.
I would like to start with that.
I think we already did that.
Didn't we did that at the end of last
Maybe
session?
you did.
And then
It was kind of
like,
rushed.
While we're waiting for Nyasa to come, let's actually
Yeah.
figure out what we're gonna do and what we're gonna tell her about the job.
That's right.
Yeah.
In which
The
case,
conversation we're having.
as you're having that conversation and you've sort of come to a conclusion, you hear a knock on the door, and without waiting for a response, the kind of bulky, muscular form of Nyasa strides into the room. Her sort of black dragonborn scales kind of shining in the light that is coming in through the window off of the harbor. And she takes a look around the room and says, "Oh, good. The other two are back. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear what you learned."
I don't think that you will love to hear this.
Well, I've already been informed that there's corruption in the ranks of the Wardens, so it can't get worse than that. I just need to know how deep it runs and how concerned I need to be about whether I can trust them in the upcoming situation.
Well, the good news is I think that they're trustworthy enough as far as it goes. They seem sincerely eager to fight off the Brotherhood, but the bad news is that it goes up fairly high. The Brotherhood has some sort of hold on the Warden Commander himself and two of his top lieutenants.
She seems to be kind of deep in thought as she takes all of that in, and then she says, "Well, that much we had, well, I had been assuming based on the information I received from Lady Elwyn and from Rook after the two of you departed. How strong is their hold? Were you able to find out?"
We don't know the exact evidence, but we found a large payoff in the desk of the Warden Commander. And we know that they are, even as we speak, taking steps to silence those who might be able to speak against them.
Well, we'll have to see what we can do to prevent that from happening. Not having been there when you were collecting information and evidence for yourselves, I need an honest answer from you. I, if I can avoid it, don't want to upset the chain of command at such a high level at this point in time. It would, I think, do a significant amount of damage to attempt to replace the command at the head of the Wardens right before all of this is about to go down. Obviously, this needs to be investigated thoroughly and, well, frankly, punishment needs to be doled out to those who are found guilty. But I think if it can, I think it needs to wait until after all is said and done. And so I need, in your opinion, I need to know whether you think that is a safe move.
Embers looks at Tuppence and says, I think so, but if you have people that you personally trust, I would detail them with the high-ranking members to make sure that nobody dies who shouldn't.
And that was my thought exactly. I was hoping that that's what you'd say, because I do have individuals I trust greatly, who I can place near the warden and any other officers that you can, well, indicate to me, and ensure that, well, hopefully nothing that they attempt to conceal in this coming conflict is actually concealed, that we see everything that they attempt to do.
Tuppence, did you get any names? I would recognize them if I saw them, but...
There were several people in the room at the time.
I don't think he referred to any of them by their names when I was actually speaking, but it's possible that he might have like referred to them by their ranks or something like that when they came in, you know, like major, captain, you know, something like that.
Well, and we did have the list of names that Torin wrote down for us.
Yes,
And
so you
I
have...
think we handed that over already.
Right. And if you didn't, you certainly could now. So that was 3, and there were basically like 6 to 10 wardens that kind of came into the room during that conversation. So like if you have their, you know, ranks and sort of their descriptions, which you do, that's something for Nyasa to go on, certainly.
Yeah, and I'll describe what I remember.
Very well. I will ensure that my people are placed around these individuals and watching them very carefully. With any luck, they'll do something to incriminate themselves during all of this, and that will make the proceedings afterwards go much more smoothly. I have ideas in mind for, well, how to replace the warden commander afterwards, but it would do significant harm to morale and also to the efficiency of the command structure to remove him at this point in time.
Well, if it's any consolation, I got the impression that he was very embarrassed about what he did.
Well, as he should be. Embarrassed is the least of the things he should be feeling. Right then, unless there's anything else, any other information that the group of you have for me, and it occurs to her as she's like standing up and starting to say this, oh, have you thought about my offer?
Yes, I do believe we have, and I think that if you need us, we will. We seem to think that the city will be in safe hands with you, between you and the people here that can work to protect it. We think that our expertise might be better suited for protecting the caravan.
I had hoped that you'd say that, because I concur. I think between the wardens, if what you say is true and we can trust them enough for now, myself and Kalea, when she arrives, we should have significant forces to defend the city. We've also been, throughout the day, recruiting mercenaries and adventurers and freelance fighters. So I think we should have, with any luck, enough to keep the people safe.
Has Smolder shown his face?
She shakes her head and says, no, but Turka did share a theory with me that he would likely be nearby waiting for me to move. And, well, we have people canvassing the area at this point in time, but if we're unable to locate him, and there's like kind of like a flash in her eyes as she says, well, I'll just draw him out.
Did we tell her about the dragon's breath? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if it comes to that, then just be careful of what he has on him.
With any, well, if things go well, I won't put that into play until Kalea has arrived, and I think his little weapon will prove, well, less effective if both of us are in the field.
Better have someone keep a close eye on that dragon, too.
She kind of raises a little eyebrow ridge.
Well, dragon's breath and all that.
Yes, I suppose that's true, but rest assured, Kalea has a strong handle on Krylad.
Well, even so, we don't really know who we're dealing with anymore, do we? This Brotherhood hasn't been acting normal the whole time. We don't know who else is working behind the scenes, and we don't know if targeting the dragon eggs is just a huge ruse to get this big dragon out in the open so they can do something. Just keep an eye on the dragon, okay?
Very well. I suppose that is a wise bit of counsel. I'll keep both eyes open.
Not that I need to tell you that.
It's always nice to get a reminder, though. And she kind of stands up, dusts off, her garments as she kind of rises and turns to head out of the room. I'll ensure that everything you need is prepared by the... hold on, what is the northern gate out of the city? The Thrims Gate, right. And ready by the Thrims Gate by the time you arrive.
Thank you.
And yeah, she
we'll
heads
do
out of
the best we can
room.
to make sure that caravan makes it back here safely.
Thank you. And with that, she departs.
Well, I'll look around at the rest of you. Very much not looking at Rook, but I'll look at Embers and Tuppence and say, well, I think it's about time we head out too. We have some preparations to make if we're going to be making a journey.
I'm going to roll an insight check. It's dismal. It's real bad, y'all. It's a 4.
I didn't roll much better, but I did roll better than a 4. So, yeah, you don't notice.
Yeah.
You don't notice.
Yeah, if anything, Elwyn seems like gloomy, right, or a little bit pensive, which is natural.
She's got her like poised, noble face back up after speaking with the governor, so it's hard to read behind that. And if you notice that she's not looking at Rook, you assume maybe that it's because you guys have just come, and so she's like filling you guys in or whatever, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, where to now? What would you like to do?
How are we doing for supplies? Do we need to go shopping? Stock up on rations and all that?
It's a long journey. We might need a few days.
How long is the journey?
If Nyasa's preparing things for us, then we shouldn't need to shop for stuff like that.
Does she know our equipment and what we need?
I mean, certainly she would prepare us for that journey.
Right. Rations and...
I need, like, pixie-sized darts.
She's not going to have pixie-sized darts for you.
Well, any weapons or maybe potions or something battle equipment we might want to shop for. Maybe we can go stop by the market.
It's also not a super far journey. The point you're going to is about a day north of here. Or no, actually it's only like, sorry, I'm looking through my notes. Where? There we go. So it's halfway between here and a warden checkpoint that is like a day and a half's worth of travel north of the city. So it's like 3/4 of a day north of the city. Is that where this ambush is going to happen?
Is that like on horseback or on foot? Or...
Yeah, that'd be on horseback.
Okay.
And we don't have to worry about securing horses or basically like rations or anything like that? Because that's what she said she was going to supply for us, or she didn't say.
She didn't specify, but she said
Okay.
you'd be provided for.
Okay.
Oh. I hope that she's providing a wagon. I don't know how to ride a horse.
Oh, well, you could always ride with me. If there is no wagon. I've been riding horses since I was old enough to walk.
They have horses in the southern tundra?
Well, of course. Maybe not in the tundra, but
Yeah, Ember's like mental picture of this is like a
Like
horse
6 feet of snow.
galloping, through 6 feet of snow. She's not really
well,
picturing
maybe not
the,
in the tundra, but
temperate
Alvaria
lands
is
where
very
Elwood
temperate.
is actually from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll say
You
that.
see a really
Alvaria is very
confused
temperate.
look on Ember's face.
We keep horses, sure. They have very
Do
warm
they-
shoes.
Snowshoes?
Well, yes.
Big iron snowshoes?
Iron wouldn't be very what's the word, effective in the snow, but we do have other materials that we use. But we don't take the horses out in the tundra that much. We have other vehicles for that.
Ember's nods slowly, not really understanding any better.
Well, does anyone else have anything that they want to shop for? Should we go see if there's any magic items or potions or something that might help us, or ammunition, or should we just
Potions
go
could
rest?
never hurt.
All right, let's
Okay.
go.
If you guys are heading out into the city, are you basically just going to go to sort of like the market district and see what you can find?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're looking for like potions specifically?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And weapon.
And maybe, yeah.
Weapons.
Maybe if there's I don't know if they'll have teeny weapons, but we can look.
Yeah, I mean, you can try. Go ahead and roll an investigation check then. One of you can take the lead and get advantage from the rest of the party.
Who's got the highest bonus to investigation?
I have a plus
Um,
4.
That'd be Rook then.
Yeah.
Okie doke. That is a dirty 20.
Okay, that's pretty good. You step
I
out
also-
into the...
Sorry, I also want to keep an eye out for that cobalt shop.
Oh, right. Okay. You step out of the citadel, and the clouds that were starting to gather above have grown into like a very thick, very dark cloud cover. And the air tastes like it's going to snow. You know very much the feeling when you step outside on a cold night and you can like tell there's enough humidity in the air that it feels like it's going to snow. It's that sort of feeling. And as you get out into the city streets, they are still extremely busy. There are people rushing here, there, all around. Imperial wardens running, basically like marching in like full armor in like squadrons throughout the city streets. People trying to, either get to the dens or to the Platinum Parish, or it was one of the areas of safety within the city, or otherwise barricade their own living quarters. Yeah, and you make your way to the market, and very clearly a lot of places here are already shut down for the state of emergency. But you manage to find one little tiny, alchemist's shop where this like old dwarven alchemist is still open. And he basically greets you as you come in and says, "Ah, customers, very good. Haven't had many customers all day, but old Cragfoot hasn't closed a day of shop in 75 years, so not gonna do it today. What can I do for you?"
Well, we were just interested in looking at what you have on offer, but when we're done here, I really do recommend you get to safety. It's not going to be safe.
I'm sure it's all just, mumbo jumbo. It can't be. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing
Can you
that old
compare the
Cragfoot
cost of-
hasn't lived through.
I would imagine losing all of your products in an attack would put quite the red mark in your ledger.
He just kind of laughs at that as if you're making a joke.
I laughed too.
And yeah, he kind of like rolls out some wares for you to look at. There's a few potions here. Some you recognize as potions of healing. There's also things like, what else would there be? Healer's kits, or is it anti-venom, antitoxin?
Antitoxin.
Things like that would exist here.
Any potions of fire resist?
Let's see. What rarity is a potion of resistance? Uncommon. Yeah. I will roll a couple d10s and see if he has one of fire. 3, a 7, a 2, and an 8. Let's see. So 3. Yeah, 3 is fire. So there's one of fire, one of poison, one of cold, and one of psychic.
So Rook will grab that potion and say, how much for this?
The fire one? This is the thing where I always forget where to look for costs for magic items. But I know that a healing potion is 50. So we'll say, and this is of the same rarity, so we'll say 50 gold pieces for this one. So that'll run you 50 gold pieces, same as any of these 4 healing potions I have here.
How much do we have in the party funds?
So from the little treasure hoard that we got, we have about 160 gold pieces.
Okay.
Then we have a bunch of silver and copper, which
so we could
translates
get
to we have about 200
potions.
Well, you mean healing potions, or just one fire resistance,
healing potions and a fire resistance, or whatever. Or we can get in how much for this? And I point to one of the antitoxins.
Yes. Working on that too. Just a second. Where is it in the player's handbook? Tools? Adventuring gear. Yeah, that's also going to run you 50 gold pieces. Yeah.
Well, I turn to the group to say, well, I can neutralize poison. It's something that I can just do now, but I can only do it a limited number of times per day. But it can also protect someone from getting poison in the first place. So I don't know. I think maybe 1 or 2 antitoxins might be a good investment.
I agree.
I think we do have a couple healing potions already, don't we?
Yes.
I have 1.
I have 2.
So what do you think?
Well, if we aren't able to find that dragon's breath, then we're likely going to be targeted by it. And
But definitely the fire resistance potion.
Yeah, I know I can mitigate that for myself a little bit. I'm not sure if everyone else can.
I have a way to mitigate any elemental damage a little bit too, if I need to.
The old man also points behind the counter to a number of ceramic pots and jugs and pitchers and says, I also have custom pottery made by my niece, if you're interested.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's not beautiful.
It's
like
I'm
lumpy.
very much aware. I'm
Make
very
a
much aware.
deception check.
Are there price tags on it?
That is
yeah,
very
and
good.
it's very clearly
Yeah.
marked up, like
That's
something
a
like
16.
this. Ooh, yeah, he believes you. He's like, I know, they're beautiful.
Very lovely.
Something like this should probably go for a matter of coppers, and it's like each of them is at least 1 silver for sure.
Is it clear that they just keep piling up and there's like he's
Uh-huh.
running out of room? Okay,
Yeah.
so if
Mhm.
maybe I'll offer.
It's like the whole back area of the shelf.
Well, what about it's like some sort of deal? I mean, those are really nice pots. We could buy some of those and these potions. What do you say about that?
Well, I'd say you'd be very valued customers.
Could use some cookware in the new place.
Mm-hmm.
True. If we do say buy a handful of these potions and 1 or 2 of those pots, what kind of a deal can you cut for us?
You can see like the wheels in his head start to spin. Well, I could knock about 10 gold pieces off per potion, I suppose. I mean, really, I'd be selling at a loss, but this is quality, jugs, pitchers, and cups and such. So you'd be doing me a favor.
And you
if
can't
you
put a
could.
price on the pride of a treasured niece, can you?
Well, I can certainly try. As he like gestures towards the price tags.
That sounds fair to me.
Well, I mean, we do have healing magic at our disposal too.
That's true.
So
Should we get a couple of antitoxins and a fire resistance?
Are we worried
potion?
about? Well, I guess that
If we're going to be going up
that
against
snake lady.
Yeah, and even if we don't use it against her, it'd be good to have, regardless.
And remind me, antitoxins, are those like a preventative thing, or are they like?
Yeah, they
Like
are.
an
They give you advantage on saving throws against poison for 1 hour.
Okay. Can you have multiple effects like that going? Like, can you just like chug a bunch of potions and have everything?
You can, but there is a chance that they will mix poorly in your stomach,
I see.
and something will happen.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
so basically I could cast protection on from poison. I was planning to cast protection from poison on whoever's going to be probably up in the thick of it, maybe Embers.
probably me too.
Yeah.
I could only do 1 at a time, though. I think it's concentration. I have to double check.
So one of us gets a spell and one of us gets
A potion.
The or a potion, antitoxin, or just fire resistance or whatever.
It
But
would make
we'll have to choose.
sense for me to do the potion because I can mitigate the fire damage with magic, and then you can do the opposite and do fire mitigation with the potion, and then poison mitigation with the spell.
It's not concentration. So I could technically burn both of my 2nd level slots and protect 2 people if I wanted to.
don't think that's worth it.
Yeah.
This is all very fascinating stuff. You must be jumping on the train.
Sorry, this is an out of character conversation.
Taking the governor up on her offer to pay is just heaps of gold for people to protect us from imagined threats.
Whatever gave you that idea? We're just going out of town.
He kind of nods.
You don't see dragon slayers every day, Mr. Craigfoot. Yeah, so I think maybe then we would want 1 poison, 1 fire, and then what? Maybe
1 healing?
1 healing?
That sounds good to me. And then we'd be able to have what? Well, lots of healing potions at our disposal. It's not a bad thing.
We could each have 1 healing potion on our person if we wanted to distribute that way.
Okay, so 1 poison resistance, 1 fire resistance, 1 antitoxin, and then 1 healing.
Yes, and that would bring us to 120.
So that's 100.
Wait, no.
160.
1 fire resistance, 1 antitoxin, one healing potion.
Okay,
3.
there's 120.
Yep.
So no.
120 gold and 3 silver pieces, right? For the.
How many pots are we buying?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's a serious
Like, are you
question.
buying enough to like?
Maybe we each get 1. Let's each find our favorite one.
Yeah, I think we should each pick one out.
Okay, so 4 silver pieces. All right.
Okay. Yeah, and
Is
you
there one that
guys
is
decide what
any
these look
blue
like,
or
but-
purple?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
clearly hand painted.
Yeah.
Take the smallest one and tell him, wow, your niece has a nice niche here.
There's probably like a shot glass that would be a regular sized cup for tuppence.
I think these are quite charming. Genuinely, I do. Yeah,
Embers
I find one that's
seriously
got like
considers this just like stands for a long time looking at a saucer. Eventually puts it back and finds a pitcher instead.
We already have a potion of poison resist, actually. Is that the same as the antitoxin, or is that different?
That's different. So a
This one
potion of
reduces-
resistance gives you resistance to a damage type. The antitoxin gives you advantage on saves against poison. Both good effects, but different stuff.
I see.
Mm.
Okay. Because otherwise, maybe we can just, if we want that one more, we could just maybe trade this one to him for a healing potion if it's the same rarity.
Well, resistance to poison damage is also really, really good.
Yeah, that's true.
I would keep that.
Okay, we can keep it. And then also for the treasures that we got from there that are just like worth gold, can I just convert that, or do we need to? Like,
oh yeah, you can find someone in the marketplace to sell
okay,
those.
So I'm just gonna convert it straight to gold, just so I don't
go
have to...
for it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
basically you just needed to make a trip to the market, and then you can do that.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's.
Yeah, for the record, just for the information sharing, the spell that I have gives you both advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and it gives you resistance to poison damage. So it gives you.
So
both
it's
the
a
effects
combination of both effects. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah. But it's a second level spell. So.
No wonder it's cool.
Yeah. I have a limited amount. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would conclude our business then.
Okay.
I'll take the most oddly shaped one for the pot.
Sure.
The lumpiest,
yeah, it's just a lumpy pot.
Yeah.
I'll try to find one that is the smoothest.
And they're all a little lumpy, but yeah, you can find one with a little bit of blue that's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And then you guys, unless you want to shop for anything else, can sort of leave the market district.
I think most of the other people are packed up.
Oh, I want some crossbow bolts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anything like that that's like regular.
Oh yeah,
like not super rare weaponry or anything like that. You can stock up on that.
I also need arrows.
Okay, you can get those
because I have a short bow that came with my starting equipment. Did not come with arrows. My starting equipment did not come with arrows. Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy some arrows.
Just like throw the bow. Yeah.
And
like
tuppence, if you want darts, you guys rolled a 20 on the investigation check. You can find somewhere where you can get custom pixie-sized darts made pretty quickly. They're small. It wouldn't take I don't think they would take too long to make. So you can get some darts
10?
made as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to buy 20 arrows.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how much all this stuff should cost.
So we got
arrows. 20 arrows is 1 gold piece.
1 gold. Okay, I can pay for that.
Darts cost 5 copper pieces each. So for 10, that would be 5 silver.
Okay.
And then crossbow bolts. There we go. For 20, it's 1 gold piece.
Yeah, I'll buy 20.
Cool.
Bless you.
Yeah, basically, I was looking at the adventuring or the other equipment section of the player's handbook, and I saw like jars and jugs on there, and I was like, why would anyone be looking to buy jars or jugs? And that's where that came from. Anyways,
I want to make a quick stop into the local station messenger service outpost.
It's pretty busy. It looks like there's a lot of people trying to send messages to like family in other cities or like nearby towns before they like try and get out of the city, stuff like that. But yeah, you make your way to the front desk eventually. What would you like to do there?
I am going to write a letter to Braca that says, Braca, I'm going a ways north on a job. Should take a couple of days. Let's meet at Gastronome for dinner on the evening of the 22nd. And Embers is so nervous she forgets to sign it.
Well, I don't think that Embers has ever used a messenger drake before, but it's actually, they can carry a physical letter. But what actually happens is when the handler brings the drake out, they tell you, okay, now you can go ahead and speak your message, and the drake will remember everything you've said as you've said it, and will deliver it verbally to the recipient.
Oh, okay. Then I just say all that.
Yep. And you'll recall that when the drake arrived to see the group of you, it kind of opened its mouth and like this kind of gruffer humanoid voice came out. So that'll make sense. Right. What did I come up with? Sending a drake within the city. I have a price on that.
Yeah, and I'll say it's to Brock at the highest bid.
Let's see. Messenger drake. Here we go. Within the city is just 2 copper pieces, so cool. Nice and cheap. And yeah, as you like try and tell the drake where to go, the handler actually just kind of like leans in and says, "First time, huh? No, it's okay. One of the things that makes these drakes so great is they actually have minor divination magic, kind of innately. She'll find who you're looking for. You don't need to tell her."
Embers like thinks about this for a second and says, "Price seems kind of low for that."
Well, sending messages within the city isn't where we make our greatest amount of money, but it is a service we'd like to provide to the people, so we'd like to make it affordable.
Appreciate it. And finishes her business and leaves.
Yep. The group of you, as you're kind of waiting on Embers to send her message, you can see that there's actually there's pricing listed for different messenger drake services, and what it says is that it's 2 copper pieces within the city. Sending outside of the city within a day's flight is 1 silver. Within 3 days flight is 5 silver. Within 7 days flight is 1 gold piece, and there's no prices listed above that. But you can also pay for a return message, or for the drake to carry a scroll tube at an additional half the cost of the original message. And then finally, you can actually purchase a trained drake for 75 gold pieces, or an unhatched drake egg for 35 gold pieces.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's within our budget.
I have that in my pocket right now.
Do you now?
No, I have enough gold to buy an egg anyway. Yeah, that's right. Luna wants me to get one too. No, I actually, you said there's like a sign outside that has all these listed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Elwyn's just going to be standing there looking at it, kind of lost in thought. That's it.
Okay. And you also did mention you were looking for that kobold artist. There's no sign of him in the market today.
Ooh.
So presumably he's cleared out to somewhere. But if all goes well, he'll be back.
Yeah, I suppose I should be happy he's gone to safety.
Yeah, there's not a ton of people in the market today. It's this old dwarven cragfoot man and just like a couple of, blacksmiths and things like that, and that's about it. Everyone else seems to have cleared out. It is, however, getting on towards evening. You guys have had a pretty big day. Are you planning to head out of the city tonight, or are you going to stay in the city and leave first thing in the morning?
When was the attack meant to happen?
On the 20th, and it is the evening of the 18th right now.
Oh, so let's sleep tomorrow. Let's sleep one more night at the mill house. If that's all right with you all, I think we should rest up before we head out of town.
Seems
One more night of Nora's good cooking sounds great to me.
Agreed.
And then we have a chance to tell everyone there that we'll be away for a couple days.
All right. So you make your way back to the mill house. And as you arrive there, it is packed. Like tables and chairs have been kind of pushed up against the sides of the walls to make room sort of in the middle. And you can see that Nora is just sheltering a ton of different people here in the mill house for the evening, it seems. Embers, could you roll a perception check?
Sure. That's cocked. I don't know what that was. Let's see. 22.
22. Okay. So you pretty quickly get over the initial shock of like walking into the mill house and just seeing it like shoulders to shoulders packed. And kind of as you're scanning the room, you spot a number of individuals you recognize from your time begging on the street, just fellow beggars from across Horizon Shroud.
Yeah, I'll go over to him. Say hello. Offer to buy him some stuff. I have money now.
Yeah, they all seem pretty shocked at the fact that you have disposable income. And it turns out that Nora basically just like opened her doors to anyone who, you know, couldn't get into the dens or didn't have a place to go. And so, yeah, a lot of people naturally turned up and are just packed into this place, including some of your former beggar companions from the streets.
That's taken care of.
Yeah, everyone is getting kind of like a simple meal, but if you want to go like back to Nora and purchase a few kind of nicer drinks and meals for some of those companions, you can certainly do so.
Yes, I will do that.
Is Molo defending our table?
Your table is pushed up against a wall. Molo is... Where would Molo be in all of this chaos? I mean, he is probably just like fighting his way through crowds, trying to get people, you know, food and things like that. But people are like not making it easy for this little kobold to make it through. And he's just like, let me in, let me pass. I've got food here. Come on, out of my way. Let me through. Oh, hey guys. You're back.
Molo, you're doing a great job.
Well crowded.
Looks pretty busy, but hang in there.
Yeah, well, Nora made sure that they didn't put anyone in your room. We're really just keeping people down here, but yeah, it's a lot. And he's like, as he says that, he's getting swallowed back in by the crowd. What do the group of you want to do?
How much will the extra meals run me?
Let's just say like 5 silver.
Okay.
For assuming you're buying for like a lot of people and some pretty nice stuff. Yeah.
Tuppence will offer to Nora some entertaining if she wants it for the people.
Oh yeah, you find Nora. She is basically behind the bar and in the kitchen, running back and forth between those two locations, and she looks pretty flustered. But as you find her, she says, "Oh, actually, yeah, that might be great. Just because I feel like it might get people to, you know, kind of settle down and quiet down and listen for a little bit. It's really loud in here. It's been loud for a while." Is it true everything that the wardens and the criers on the street corners were saying?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I didn't want to believe it, but I guess that makes sense after all of the things that the group of you have been chasing down. Well, it's really impressive that the group of you raised this to to this level of I don't know. I'm really flustered. It's really impressive what you guys are doing. Anyways,
we couldn't have done it without you. And
some entertainment would be great to keep some of these people.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on it, and thank you for all you do, Nora. You're really an inspiration. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, I gotta get back out there.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. So you try and get people to kind of clear off the stage. Tuppence, would you make either a persuasion or an intimidation check to get people to kind of clear off your performance space?
Oh gosh. Let's see, persuasion. We'll add it to that. Hey, that's a 21.
21, yeah. So you fly up and there's a group of people kind of huddled around your performance space. But you fly up and ask them to get out of your way, and they just cannot resist your pixie charm, and they kind of like push back against the crowd, which groans in response. But yeah, you get a little bit of space to perform.
Okay, so I start twirling around to get everybody's attention, and that's how I do it. So I'm clapping my hands and I twirl around.
Pixie dust is kind of flying down off your wings.
Yep. And I have one prepared if you want me to say the little ditty.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay, this one is called, hey everybody, this one's called The Rogue's Delight, okay? Shh, shh, shh. Okay, so I get out my lute. Hark, a thief in the night, silent and swift. He doesn't need sight to leave you adrift. Hold dear to your treasure, lest you find it's been lightened. Your purse strings his pleasure. They should have been more tightened.
Yay! Everyone starts cheering, but let's make a performance check to see how loud they're cheering, how into it they got.
12 plus performance, 12 plus 7, so 19.
Oh yeah, everyone's super into it. There's like claps and cheers. Another.
Okay, I'm just gonna play now.
Okay.
I'll get out my my mom's pan flute.
You start to play on your mom's pan flute. And the whole place goes quiet, listening to the sounds of the Fey music that you produce. Can you make a charisma saving throw for me?
Let's get those mixed up. Okay, saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, 9 plus is a 5, so it's a 14.
14. Yeah, so as she's playing this song, there's a brief moment where the music swells and crescendos and reaches this moment of intensity where the pace is picking up, the volume is picking up, and it's absolutely showcasing Tuppence's skill as a performer. And for a brief moment, there is this sort of like iridescent shimmer around Tuppence, and all of her colors, her entire color scheme just shifts for a brief second to sort of oranges and reds instead of, the kinds of like purples and blues that Tuppence normally has. And in that instant, it's gone. But those of you who are watching very closely catch it. The iridescent shimmers and sparkles continue, and basically the crowd is just oohing and awing throughout. But that flash of altered color only lingers for a second.
And can I notice it in myself, or is it just other people?
Just other people. Though you could make a perception check if you want.
Okay. 18 plus 1, 19.
You could swear that there is a second pan flute playing alongside you in harmony as you are performing.
Okay.
It feels as if it is kind of like drifting ethereally at the back of your consciousness, but that can't be.
But is it comforting or disturbing to me?
I think that's up to you.
Okay.
How you would take it.
Okay. I'm going to take comfort.
Does anyone else want to do anything with this night? Or is it pretty much off to rest pretty quickly?
I think I would tell Nora that I'll take dinner in my room and I'll just take whatever the rest of the group, whatever the rest of the place is eating, and just take it straight up. And I go up to the room and I kind of set the food down without eating it, open the window and lean out and just kind of breathe in the smell of the pre-snow air and just stand there by myself for a while.
It is actually beginning to snow, so you can kind of like
Even
reach
better.
out your hand, and the beginning, kind of flakes flutter down and touch your skin. That cool, comforting touch.
If that's the case, I'll probably hoist my legs out the window and sit with my legs outside and just kind of sit and enjoy the snow.
You're doing that for a little while, and of course, she's not going to miss an opportunity like this. It's not long before there's a big gust of wind that kind of blows your hair in your face. And when your hair you get it out of your eyes, there's a flurry of snow that is in that gust of wind that kind of swirls and condenses into the form of the masked lady, and she just kind of leans against the windowsill with you.
Well, you've been visiting me quite often lately.
You know I can't pass up weather like this.
It is beautiful.
It's just so much like home.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Do you think I suppose Daddy deserves to know where I went. Thought about sending him a message today. Wouldn't be difficult to do that, in theory.
In theory, yes. Does that mean you've forgiven him a little bit?
No.
Not at all?
No, and I want him to worry about me just a little bit longer, and that's incredibly selfish.
I think it's reasonable. And I'm sure that he is very worried about you, being the type of person that he is.
I know he is, and that's why I almost sent him a message today, because I can't stand the thought of him worrying about me, even as mad as I am.
I think he might be more concerned if he knew the sorts of things that you're currently wrapped up in.
That's true. Or if he knew where I was going and what I was looking for.
Where are we going, Elwyn?
Well, I heard there's some dark elves up in Amberhearth. I guess that's worth checking out.
A good place to start as any.
More leads than here anyway.
Yes, I do think it's probably about time we moved on from this city.
I think everyone else is itching to get up there too, so at least I won't have to go alone this time.
I do think you found a good group of friends, for what it's worth.
So. I hope so.
But I do hate to, beat a dead horse on the matter. But you do know Rook was lying to you earlier today, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't being very subtle about it.
No, I didn't think so, but well.
I think I'm past the point of wanting to believe everyone's telling me the truth. But if he just wanted to have his secrets, that's fine. But if he wants to lie to my face, I'm done with the lies. I don't want to be lied to anymore.
Well, how about
this? She kind of reaches out and she uses shape water on Snowflakes as a way to distract herself from her feelings.
What sort of shapes does she absentmindedly make?
She's just changing them into different types of like Arctic creatures. Mm-hmm. So there's like a little bunny or the shape of like a squirrel, which isn't really Arctic, but or like a wolf or like a little fox,
a snowy owl or something.
Yeah, stuff like that. Or just maybe shaping them into stars or clouds or just something absentmindedly. Just something to focus on.
Well, how about this? I promise I will always do my best to be truthful with you, Elwyn. How's that?
It's a start. I still don't know what to call you.
Well, I suppose that's true.
But it's not that you haven't lied to me about that. And if you want to withhold your information, that's fine too.
When the time comes, I will tell you. I promise.
I know you've only ever had my best interests at heart. I believe that, so I'm not worried about you, at least.
And for what it's worth, I'm not at all worried about you either, because I know that you always have the best interests of everyone around you in your heart. And that's admirable.
I'm just doing what I can to help people. What I was raised to do, I guess.
So you're saying that your father taught you well. She kind of gives like a kind of playful smile at that. Like you can tell she's trying to get a little bit of a rise out of you, but like in a friendly way.
She kind of drops her hands into her lap and looks up at the sky and says, my father did teach me well. My father's a good man. A good man with a big secret and an even bigger lie. He stole something from me and I can't forgive him for that. So even if he did raise me right, he gave me everything I needed. I'm allowed to be mad for a little bit longer.
Very true. But maybe he had his reasons.
Of course he did. And I've got mine.
And with that, I think she just kind of lets the conversation lapse into silence and just kind of stays there leaning against the windowsill. And as you're shaping creatures with the water, she occasionally joins in and like will complete your the sort of like sculpture diorama type thing that you're creating. Like if you start creating stars, then she puts a moon next to them, you know, or if you're creating animals, then she creates like like if you create a snowy owl, she creates a second owl that's kind of like snuggled into it or something like that, you know. She just kind of takes whatever you create and then adds to it.
Right. Elwyn really enjoys that.
Yep, and it's she stays with you for quite a while. So what does everyone else want to do? Anything?
I want to go talk to Rook for a second, for a little while. I think I'd like walk up to where do I find Rook?
I think Rook is kind of just leaning against one of the walls, maybe like having a small plate in his hand and like kind of just picking some food. But he also sneezes when they talk about him. So maybe you
find him talking about you, bitch.
It's the draft.
Who said we were talking about you, bitch?
Through the window, you know.
Yeah, I know. Someone's talking about me.
Yeah. Embers has to like raise her voice to a level you don't usually hear, to like be heard above the din of this crowd.
Yeah.
Like, so, Rook.
Do you want to walk outside? It's quieter.
No, it's fine.
Okay. What's going on, Embers?
What about you? Have you ever ridden a horse before?
Yes, I have.
A lot?
I mean, I know how, but probably not frequently. Do you want to ride
Is it
me
hard?
Instead? Kinda. Maybe to get started. I'm sure we'll be fine.
I'm nervous.
About riding on a horse?
I don't like the way horses look.
What's wrong with the way they look?
They freak me out.
Okay.
It's the long faces.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I mean, if you're
and the way they move their lips and the teeth under them, it's
a little
it's weird.
off-putting.
I feel like everyone around Embers can hear the conversation.
Yeah, they can. But fortunately, there's enough going on, especially with Tuppence' performance, that no one is paying too close of attention or anything.
Well, Rook will try and comfort Embers and say, well, I mean, they're not violent creatures though, so even if you can get over the weirdness, then they're not going to try and hurt you or anything.
Don't they kick?
If you aggravate them.
How do I not do that?
Just follow Owen and my lead, and you'll be fine.
All right.
You can trust us with that.
You nervous about the caravan?
Yeah, quite a bit. I think this is very dangerous. But I think that as long as we're all in it together, we'll be fine.
That's what I think too.
Has Embers been drinking?
A little.
Okay. I see. Who'd you write a letter to? Or did you tell us? I don't remember.
You can figure out exactly who she wrote a letter to.
Okay. I see. And you getting ready for your date then? Is that?
No, I'm getting ready for the caravan.
Caravan.
That's why I'm asking you about horses.
I see. I guess that's something you can show off later too. You can say, "Hey, I rode a horse."
Yeah. Do you think she knows how to ride a horse?
I don't know. That's a good conversation starter though.
It's worked for this one.
I love Embers. Oh, jeez. Well, are you getting tired, or are you going to stay up a little bit longer?
I'm going to stay up a little more. How about you?
I'll probably also stay up a little bit more. I have some things to think about, and so be a little bit longer for me.
Tuppence is pretty good tonight, huh?
Yeah, very good. She's very on point. Did you see her change colors for a sec though? Did you see that?
No, I wasn't watching.
Oh, okay.
Did that happen?
Yeah, I think so. I swear it did twice now.
Have you been drinking?
And Brooke hides the drink behind his back. No. Yes, a little.
Good man.
Oh my god.
What's your poison?
Oh, I normally just
I mean drink. I know that we're talking about poisons today, but I didn't mean that literally.
I just asked for whatever the favorite was of the day.
All right.
What about you?
And with that,
Yeah.
Unless anyone else has any final things they want to do.
I do have a thing I want to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Have at it then.
Yeah, so once once they're done having their conversation, having fun and doing their thing.
Once you finally get rid of this drunk tabaxi.
Yes. Then Rook is going to slip out of the mill house.
Oh. Okay. Make a quick stealth check. Take
Yes,
advantage because it's crowded and people are drunk.
Okey-doke.
Tuppence, you can make a perception check. Embers, you could probably make one. I'll leave it up to you if you want disadvantage or not.
I'm giving myself disadvantage.
Okay. I rolled the same thing on both dice, so we'll see how we do.
Got an 11.
And
Yeah,
how did Rook do?
I got a 20. Dirty 20.
Oh,
dang.
You beat my 16.
Okay. Yeah, Rook slips out unseen to any of you, but Elwyn, who is sitting up at the window, has a clear view of Rook slipping out of the mill house.
Yep.
And the masked lady who's leaned against the wall says, well, this could be enlightening. And she begins to turn into a drift of snowflakes on the wind.
I am going to wild shape into a
A what?
Into a what?
Into a cat.
A cat. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to stealth after him.
Okay. I don't know if there's a stat block for a cat. There should be.
There should be.
There is
There
a stat
should
block
be.
for a cat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pull it up too.
Stealth +4, looks like.
I remember reading somewhere that a single lucky crit from a cat can kill a wizard. Level 1 wizard.
Oh my gosh.
Their claw does 1 slashing damage, though. Is that true? What is
Maybe
Rook's
it's an earlier
passive
edition.
perception, by the way?
14, but I am also looking for something. So I don't know if I would notice because I'm looking for the night mantis.
Okay.
So I'm kind of
Well,
trying to.
you're not looking for a cat, so we're going to use your passive perception
fine.
for that.
I got a natural 20 on my stealth, motherfucker.
Dang!
shoot.
I
Okay,
just
24.
got a natural. So 24.
You might as well
Um,
wild shape into an invisible cat.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
shit.
you kind of like climb down the side of the mill house.
And definitely the fur of the cat is the same kind of pearlescent white as Elwyn's hair. And she's got the 2 different colored eyes too.
As you land on the ground in front of the mill house, there's a ginger cat there as well, who you recognize as Jin, and you can probably talk to cats when you are a cat.
Yeah.
He just says, "Oh, haven't seen you around.
Oh, hi, Jin, right?
Oh, you know of me."
Yeah. Hey, let's catch up later. I have a thing I have to do.
Uh,
You are very handsome.
Jin's tail kind of flicks. Why, thank you. It would be nice to see you again. Yes, please. This is my place. I own it. You can come by any time.
Great. I'll come find you later. And I like flick my tail and run off in the direction that Rook went.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
I love
That's
playing a
all I
character
wanted.
that
I'm gonna
flirts
go
with
back to the mill
everyone.
house now.
Flirted with a cat.
I flirt with everyone. That's just my character.
Okay.
That's great.
What is Rook doing?
Yeah, so Rook is gonna walk in to he's gonna walk into like the wide open like streets of
Mhm.
the city and kind of just let's see. I don't know if he's gonna pick a maybe so what's directly neighboring the area that we're in right now? Like is it just like residential or is it
Yeah, there's a lot of residential. There's also a lot of like other inns and things like that. You're pretty close to the like north side of the city. So this is like the area of the city that people visiting come in through the Thrim's Gate, and then this is kind of like right where they end up, So that's why there's a lot of inns and things like that. Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna just walk into the open street, maybe staying within the same district, and kind of looking to the rooftops or areas for like movement to try and find the night mantis.
Okay, roll a perception check.
Okay. Is a 19.
Just a sec. Ooh. Bum, bum, bum.
Not enough to find me.
Nope.
My 24.
It's pretty dang good.
Can't believe it.
Feeling confident in the darkness of the night, she is not taking as much care to hide as she might otherwise. And it's you have to look for a little while, but you do spot the hooded form that you've now at this point come to recognize, perched up on one of the roofs of one of these, basically a tavern, and kind of watching the street. She's a little ways away, but it seems like she is watching you.
And she's following me.
Seems that way.
So, once Rook notices her, he will raise up his hands and then like take one of his rings off and like point it towards her, and then speak to it, and then set it down somewhere, and then walk away.
Okay.
Like you say into it.
How far away do you walk?
I guess he'll just walk maybe. Oh, well, I have to stay in range, so let me see what the range is, and I'll go to like the max range. I don't see a range on it actually.
Is it the message cantrip?
Tinkering.
Oh, right. You might not have a range then.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can just drop him whenever. So maybe it's yeah. So I think maybe like he'll go to like 60 feet and then like look back and see, then 100 feet, and he'll just kind of keep
When you
going.
look back, she has hopped about 2 rooftops closer.
Does she like go to it?
Not when you get to like 60 feet.
100 feet, 150 feet.
She hops another rooftops closer.
Yeah. So just like keep going until she,
I'm gonna stay about 30 feet away from the ring.
Okay. And yeah, what did you say when you spoke into the ring?
He said, "Come speak with me."
Okay. From quite a distance away, you see, let's see, how does she drop down from this roof? What does she have? You can see she's actually no longer, well, it was this day, so never mind. She has basically taken out that long rifle of hers and attached something to it, which she then hooks onto the side of the building and then basically rappels down as like a rope extends out from this grapple attachment on her rifle. And when she hits the ground, she like twists some sort of contraption on the barrel, and the thing kind of unhooks and slides back down to her. And she slowly makes her way over to the ring, picks it up, listens to the message. And could you make a persuasion check?
Sure. That was really bad. Can I make another persuasion check?
What'd you get?
I got 7.
You can see she motions like with her head towards an alleyway.
Okay. Then
and then she disappears into it and kind of out of your sight. And by the time that you get into the alley, she's nowhere to be seen. Or perhaps we'll make a perception check in a second. But the ring is kind of on the ground again in the alley.
I followed her into the alley.
Okay.
Yeah. So Rook will stand at the mouth, I guess, of the alley and kind of look for her harder than caring about where the ring is.
Cat Elwyn saw that once she got in the alley, she set the ring down on the ground and then basically like parkour hopped wall to wall until she had scaled the roof of the building. Do you want to try and go after her?
Absolutely.
All right. Can you make a athletics or acrobatics check for the cat?
Do cats have climbing speed?
If it's got a climbing speed, never mind.
Yeah, climbing speed 30 feet.
Okay, yeah, you just climb up the side of the building.
Very quietly climb up the side of the building, up to the roof.
Rook, go ahead and make that perception check.
Sure. Whoop. That's another 19. You can roll well on that, apparently.
Okay. You look up as you're, starting to see her pattern, and you can see her perched on the roof, overlooking the alley, and she just looks down at you and says, "Well done, talk."
Come down here.
She doesn't move and doesn't say anything. She just kind of is perched there on the edge, kind of in like sort of a squatting position, looking down at you.
I was hoping we could,
kind of cape billowing in the wind a little bit.
Rook will, while he's talking, walk over to his ring and pick it up and put it back on, or like clean it off and put it back on, and then say, "I was hoping we could chat for a bit in a more enclosed location, a private, like we can just go to the inn over here or something."
This is private enough.
Okay. Who are you? I already have
I'm a
some
woman with a
theories.
mission,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you might be part of that.
Perhaps, probably. If we're on the same mission, we should work together, or at least be acquainted, or we already are. And I'd just like to know what your identity is. I'm pretty sure you know mine.
I think I know who you are. I hope I know who you are.
Well, come down here then.
She shakes her head. Convince me that I'm right, and then maybe I will. What was your perception check when you were looking for her again? It was pretty high, right?
19.
19. You can see just barely, since you're actually pretty close at this point, that the ring that she's wearing that you glimpsed the last time you saw her has the same potion bottle insignia as your ring.
Yeah, and so then I'll just show that signet ring to her and say, is this proof enough?
No. The Empire invaded. They murdered and killed and stole from Vagma. Anyone could have taken that ring. A looter, a plunderer, an Imperial soldier. There's any number of ways it could have ended up in your hands.
Rook nods. That's logical. I understand. But we're going to take it back. He kind of folds its arms on it and looks at her. We're going to take back what they stole.
We? You and me?
Yes.
That's presumptuous of you.
Maybe. Not convinced yet?
She shakes her head.
Okay. So Rook is going to very cautiously look around and see if anybody else is around.
Your perception check was a 19
Yeah.
before. You don't see anyone. The streets are actually pretty quiet at this point. It seems like people are sheltered where they're going to be for the moment. There's occasionally Imperial Warden patrols that pass by, but you hear them coming miles away because of the clanking armor, and there's none of that clanking to be heard at the moment.
Okay. So then he will use his changeling ability, and he's going to change into just his changeling form. He'll just drop his disguise for, I don't know, a couple seconds, and then put it back up.
She leaps nimbly down from the building and kind of strides over to you. How tall is Rook?
He is 5'8".
She's a little bit taller than you. And as she gets close to you, you can see that she's better, not necessarily much better muscled than you, but she has a lot of like tone and definition to her that is apparent. She's very lithe, and she kind of stands in front of you. And at this point, you have a very good view of the rifle that she wields, and it is absolutely made of the same metal as your armor.
That's cool.
And she says, "All right."
I say, believe me now.
She says, "All right, I do." And she drops to a knee and says, "I will do whatever I can to protect you, Vertinor Oranglass of Vagma."
And Rook will like kind of do a motion that she can stand again.
Yeah, she does.
And
kind of towering back over you again.
How tall is she?
Just a little bit taller than you.
Okay, he said towering.
Inches.
I was like,
yeah. But I mean, it seems that way because she's very impressive. She's like, and she has this mask. She hasn't taken off her mask. It's that kind of upside down triangular mantis mask with the big orange goggle-like eyes.
Now, if we can go to that inn over there, he'll just point to whatever the closest one is that doesn't look too, ratty or anything, and just talk candidly for a little while. That'd be very helpful. Because I don't really want to talk here. I'm sure you can understand that.
I think we've talked enough for tonight.
Oh, come now.
And she darts away.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
Can I grab for her? Can I just grab her arm real quick?
Yeah. Make an athletics check.
I'm really good at these, guys. I got it's a -1, so it's a 12.
Yeah, she slips through your grasp and darts away at a pretty good pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't even, Nick. Don't even. Mine's like just just wag it around. Doesn't matter.
And as you kind of chase after her, run around the corner, she is absolutely gone.
All right.
Rolled a really high stealth check to disappear.
Yeah, that's fine. Rook will kind of just stand there and shake his head a little bit and huff, and then he'll start walking back to the mill house.
Okay. What does Elwyn do?
Did I see where she went from my vantage point?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
I think you use your stats for this one, not the cat's.
Yeah. Good. That's only a 9. So
yeah, she disappears from your view as well, unfortunately.
All right. Then I will also head back. I will follow Rook at a distance. And when I see that he goes back into the mill house, I will climb back up and enter the window into our room.
So
transform back in myself.
Knowing her physique up close and kind of seeing her, do I have a better idea of who she is? I know I had some theories. No.
Remind me of what your theories were. You thought maybe your mother.
Yep. So either
didn't look like any.
That's a really low guess though. I don't think it's her.
Yeah. Didn't look like any guys your mother to have taken before.
I thought it was. Where was it? Like a handmaiden or one of the royal guard members that he could have been close to.
Didn't look familiar to any of those sorts of people.
Or one of the controllers.
No, it didn't look like any of those individuals.
Dang. Okay.
But she was wearing the sort of forest green and sort of burnt orange colors of Vogma and its soldiers.
Okay. So yeah, he has mixed feelings right now as he enters the mill house again quietly, trying not to alarm anybody that he left.
Has everyone else kind of gone to bed at this point?
I think Embers is probably still awake and just having a good old time with her old friends.
Yeah. Things have gotten. So someone has probably started up a card game or a dice game or a couple of those. So it's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So you slip past Embers. Has Tuppence gone to sleep?
Nope. If games are afoot, I'm playing with Embers.
Okay. Yeah, you two are both having a good time.
It makes it easier
playing.
for me to sneak back into the room through the window.
Yeah, so Rick just kind of heads back to the room then.
Okay. What's Elwyn doing when he gets back?
Probably just standing at the window, you know, where she was before she decided to follow him. But
Okay.
yeah, facing out, looking at the snow.
Well then, unless Elwin wants to start a conversation, I think that probably eventually everyone, does come back to the room and settle into bed.
Now, she's not even going to acknowledge him when he comes into the room.
Cold.
Arctic druid baby.
Yep. Everyone eventually comes back to the room. Rook gets the cold welcome. A good evening's rest is had. Embers, you have dreams of horse faces and lips and teeth, but nothing more horrible than that. And you wake up in the morning to the sounds of commotion outside in the city. You can hear armor clanking and shouts, and it's early in the morning, but it seems like things are happening outside. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a minute to meditate and prepare my spells for today.
It's difficult because, I mean, you can hear shouts coming from the streets. Luckily, most of them seem like they're a ways from the mill house, but yeah, it is not a quiet and peaceful environment out there in the city this morning.
Whew. I'm gonna head down, grab some coffee. Embers, by the way, I love your friends. You have some really great people that you know. That was fun.
I like him too. It's a shame about their situation, but they don't let it get him down. We never did.
Good. All right, coffee for me. See you all in a bit.
Double for me. I'm joining you.
Okay.
Coffee is had. One is given to Rook. Spells are prepared. And before too long, the group of you are ready to leave the mill house. It seems like Molo, Tess, and Nora very much have their hands full here. They are, with all of the commotion out in the city, they are basically going to like barricade the door behind you by putting tables against like the doors and windows and things like that. So Molo is basically like waiting by the door for the group of you to get out. All right, once you guys are gone, we're gonna put a table in front of the door. But if you need to get back in, just knock like this. He does this like ridiculously complicated knock. You got that?
Yeah, like this, and then Rook will try and do it back.
No, like this. And he does a different knock.
Okay, I think I got it. I have no idea.
Yeah, neither does he. Is everyone ready to depart? Okay.
All set.
Did we let Nora know that we're going to be gone for a couple days?
Yeah, I assume that you sort of had that conversation at some point last night.
Yeah.
When we're at the Thrim's Gate, I'm going to try and snag a shield from somebody.
Okay. Well, before you get there, you have to traverse across the city a little bit.
Oh.
Would one of you roll me a d4?
I'll do it.
Okay.
2.
2. Okay. Sorry, I'm just updating my current in-world date in my note because it is now the 19th of dice. A 2, you say? Where's my list? Boop, boop, boop. Here we go.
Sorry, can we mark a long rest?
You can mark a long rest, yes. Ooh, interesting. As you make your way out into the city, who's involved here? Okay. You are heading towards the Thrim's Gate by the most direct route. And you hear a commotion not too far ahead of you. There are soldiers shouting, and they're shouting things like, it's no good. It's got all our weapons. What are we supposed to do? Ah, it's got me now. And things like that. Do you head towards that commotion, or do you try and go around it?
Are these soldiers worms, or are they like Nias's people?
You wouldn't know just from the shouting, but odds are they're Imperial Wardens.
I'm good.
What about the rest of you?
What do you think, Elwyn?
I know they sound like they're having some trouble. Is it on the way to where we're going, or is it in the opposite
Yeah,
direction?
they're in the most direct path. You could circle around and go a different way, but
If we're going that way anyway, we might as well check on them and see if they need help, right?
Oh, and there are people having trouble all over the city. We have to get on the road.
But we're heading that way anyway.
Embers looks at Rook.
I'm with Embers on this one.
Tuppence?
Would it help you if I just flew up a little bit, took a little peek, and came back to tell you what's going on? Would that ease your mind a little bit? Because I kind of want to get on the road too.
Then let's just go.
Okay.
So the group of you are just trying to sneak around it. Can you make a group stealth check then?
Well, okay. Not at all as good as it was last night.
Every time I think about saying I'm good at these, I roll really not good at these.
That's why you never say that.
I thought it though. I'm like, oh,
don't jinx yourself.
That happened to me last week with my persuasion check.
Okay. How did Elwyn do? Total? I couldn't hear that.
Big fat 9.
9. Okay. Tuppence
18.
and Rook
12.
and Embers
17.
17. Okay. You managed to take a path around where you think this skirmish is happening by sort of ducking and going between side streets and things like that. But you catch a glimpse of what it is because you end up having to pass pretty close by. Even though you do successfully sneak past it, but you do with those rolls end up having to sort of see what's going on. There is a massive, like 13-foot long, maybe like 5-foot tall crustacean, like a lobster, with this sort of like brownish shell in the middle of one of these streets, basically taking up the entire street. And there are 3 Imperial Wardens fighting it. But you can see that they seem to be stuck to the thing. Like their weapons are kind of like stuck to it and hanging off of it at weird angles. Like one of them seems to be like attached to the back of its claw. And one of the wardens seems to be basically magnetized to this lobster by the back of their plate armor and is just wriggling. And the lobster has one of the 3 wardens in its claw and it is squeezing tight. They are fighting a losing battle, but you can sneak past.
I hesitate.
Tuppence size.
Rook size.
And continues to sneak past.
I'm gonna roll insight on Elwyn.
Okay.
To see if no, I did not roll well. Maybe it's an easy read though. But I only got
I will too.
a 6.
I got insight. I got a 17.
Okay. Yeah. Elwyn is conflicted, and she turns and she looks at Embers with big pleading eyes.
Make a DC 10 persuasion check.
That's a 11 on die, so 16.
Embers like hangs her head a little bit and nods. And I guess rolls initiative.
Great.
The group of you can hop over to Roll20 if you want. I will pull up.
Do we get a surprise round?
You will, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Am I the only one with a good alignment in the party?
No, Embers is chaotic good.
Okay, that makes sense.
The reason that I was looking to you was because of the bond. That's like, I want you to show me how to be good.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's a really low bar to clear.
Rook is lawful neutral.
All right. How did Embers do for initiative?
12.
Oh shit! I have to roll.
Tuppence?
Tuppence got a 6.
6. And Rook? Or should I say
8.
Vert or Oranglass?
Yes. Vert got an 8.
Okay. And Elwyn?
Dirty 20.
20. Beautiful.
One of us clearly already knew what she was going to do.
I was hesitating for a reason.
Okay. You're going to get a surprise round here. So that means that Elwyn is up first. Can all of you see the map?
Yeah.
Okay. I am just repurposing this city map because I didn't have time to make or find a new one. So here we are. Yeah. What is the hotkey to show a token on Roll20? I always forget. It's Alt something. Shift to Z. Okay. All of you remember that. So
Of course it is.
there you go. You can see this creature. It has all kinds of
cool.
metal stuck to it, but it is in effect a giant lobster. And it has all 3 of these wardens stuck to it by the armor, and their weapons stuck to it at different angles, and one of them in its claws. Elwyn, what would you like to do?
Oh no. Elwyn knew what she was going to do, but Kay did not at all have anything planned. I think, you know what? Once she looks at Embers and she makes that eye contact and Embers sighs and gives a nod, Elwyn turns and starts running toward the commotion. She stops about, I don't know, 40 feet away. Are our tokens on this map too somewhere?
They are.
Okay.
Are from the
They're
right.
over here.
My map hasn't loaded all the way. That's why
I see. Well, the map doesn't extend quite to 40 feet, but you can be 40 feet away if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stop about 40 feet away, and I'm going to swing my arms forward and kind of shoot ice out of them, and it kind of crumbles along the ground, and it goes up the crab's legs, and I'm basically casting hold person. Nope, I'm not doing that because it's not a person.
Yep, it's not a person.
I said hold per. Nope, it's not hold
Hold,
monster.
And the
please.
warden is stuck in space.
Are the wardens all off the ground? Are their feet on the ground
yeah,
still?
they're all pretty much off the ground because they
Great,
are
then I'm gonna. It's the same
magnetized
thing
to this
happens,
thing.
but instead of it crawling up the body, it's forming ice spikes on the ground, and I cast spike growth.
Okay.
In
How
a
does that work?
20-foot radius, centered on the thingamabob.
Well said.
Yeah. Sorry, reading and speaking at the same time is not one of my strong suits.
What does it have to do?
So it's basically the area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. But the transformation of the ground is kind of camouflaged to look natural, it says.
Okay. And yeah, there is a fresh snow, so this would look natural as like these
Yep.
ice spikes kind of.
So you just see kind of the cold magic shoot into the ground and kind of disappear under the snow, basically.
Okay.
But yeah,
you can draw that on the
20
map
foot-
if you want.
Yeah.
And then also just remind me when anything.
Okay. I'm going to
comes
reload
up
the map
with
and then I will draw it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my turn.
Embers, what would you like to do with your surprise?
Embers plants herself really solidly, takes a deep breath, moves her arms back, and whips them forward really quickly. And 2 radiant bolts shoot from her hands toward the crab.
Roll those attacks.
Yeah. Let's see. This is a 17 hit.
17 does hit this thing. Yes.
All right, then they will both hit. 4. Let's see. 15 damage all told.
These 2 blasts of radiant light collide with this creature, and it kind of has to rear back as it takes the force of the impact. I don't know what a giant lobster sounds like, so I'm not going to make any noise, but it makes some kind of like horrible reaction noise to the damage.
I can hear it.
That's all for me.
Okay. Then
Actually, I think I'll move one up a little bit here. Yeah,
Rook, what would you like to do?
So I did not roll for this earlier, but well, I was going to ask. So I changed my armor type to Guardian overnight, but I just kind of I figured that wasn't super important. But yeah, so I guess unless I had it equipped already, which I wasn't really thinking about it, I would have to use an action to equip this.
Oh, your armor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume you weren't lugging it around, so I think it'd be fair to say you had it equipped. If you
The only thing is I would have disadvantage on stealth checks, but I didn't. I didn't do that.
That's fine. That's fine.
So okay, I just wanted to okay. So if I have it equipped already,
you didn't roll very high anyways, so
not really. No. Then I will rush forward, and I will use my action to use a Thunder Gauntlet on it and roll an attack. And so you see this like crystal on the end of his fist light up with this like purple light, and he just slugs this thing, and this big boom happens right when he hits it. And I rolled a 23 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 11 thunder damage.
11 thunder damage. Okay. I don't think it has any sort of resistances to that.
And then for my bonus action, I will use Defensive Field, and I will give myself 3 temp HP.
Okay. Tuppence.
Tuppence will perform a Mantle of Inspiration. So the three of you can take 5 temporary hit points.
Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't have done mine then.
Thank you. Also, sorry, Vert, you entered the spike growth area.
Should I not do that?
Well, every 5 feet you move into it, you take 2d4 piercing damage.
Oh, ouch. Okay, I don't want to do that. You can't, can you shape it to give us, a path?
No.
No.
Okay.
But you would have seen it there if you want to.
You saw me cast a spell.
Yeah, I did. That's right. I just was not thinking about it.
And you can take a perception check to see it before you enter it.
Okay, so maybe I wouldn't. I don't want to take my turn back, but I don't think I'd run into a bunch of.
I think you can take your turn back. It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't have.
Sorry,
it's
I should
okay.
have said that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Before you ran in.
Yeah, you cast it. I should pay attention. Let's see. Okay, so knowing that that's there, technically the crossbow is the same exact. Oh, it's 3 less damage, but it's the same rolls, almost. So, you want me to just re-roll everything?
No, I can give it 3 health back if it's 3 less damage.
It's 3 less damage because I used my dex modifier instead of my intelligence. So he would
Cool.
just shoot a crossbow then, and stay
Yep.
at range.
And then you are still at range, which is good for you.
Yep.
And then Tuppence.
Sorry, was that 5 temp HP from Tuppence to everyone?
Yes, and
Thank you.
since I'm using it for the first time, I don't get the temp hit points. It's just those 3, correct? DM?
I would have to take a look. Mantle of Inspiration.
It says up to 3 creatures I can see, and that can see me.
Yeah, so you could pick yourself, or you could pick your 3 friends.
Okay, I'll just put the 3 friends then.
But yeah, if you can only pick 3, then you'd
Okay.
have to choose between, putting it on yourself or.
Okay, so in the future, I'll put that I can.
Is that based off your modifier, or how does the number happen?
Yeah, equal to charisma modifier. So that could go up.
Got it. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You could get to the point where you could do it to your whole group, including yourself.
Sweet.
And we get more out of that than just the temp HP, it looks like.
Yeah. You can also immediately use your reaction to move more up to your speed without provoking OAs. So if you wanted to move again, you could.
I'm good this time.
I'm good where I am. Thank you.
Okay, so that was a bonus action for my action. Can I tell if this creature, the magnification, or magnetization that it has is from a spell?
You could roll an Arcana check if you want.
Okay.
Can I also roll an Arcana check for what it's doing?
I got a 15.
Tuppence, you've never seen anything like this, but looking at this creature, it doesn't seem to have it doesn't seem to have the intelligence or mental faculties from what you've seen so far to be able to cast a spell.
I got a 16.
Okay.
I want to know how it's keeping those wardens attached to it.
You think that it is probably some sort of magical property of the creature. Like the creature itself is very clearly a monstrosity. That seems to have some sort of magnetic ability innately.
So it's obviously like magnetic, like it's attracting metal objects or.
Yep.
Okay.
So, well, why not? Since it's a surprise attack, I'm going to try to dispel magic on it.
Okay. Let me look at spell magic.
It is a instantaneous. It's instantaneous if the spell is 3rd level or lower. If it's a 4th level spell, then I have it's the DC 10 plus the spell's level.
You know what? I mean, it'd have to be some kind of magical effect. You don't know how long this dispel will last, but it seems like the magnetic effect ends because the wardens come crashing to the ground, and so do their weapons and things like that.
They take falling damage.
No, they weren't like held 10 feet up in the air or anything like that.
One of them was grabbed though, right?
Yeah, but he falls like 3 feet to the ground,
Oh, okay.
Now they're in the spikes too.
Yeah.
And I think when they enter the spikes.
I'm just going to start counting it like if they run away from the spikes. Because technically they're already
into or within the area. So, yeah.
And that is the end of the first round of initiative. It's the end of your surprise round. Do you guys want to keep going a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the soldiers are up right at the start. One of these soldiers is definitely going to try and run out of the spikes. At least one of the 3. And it looks like that one moves 10 feet out of the spikes. Is it difficult terrain or anything like that?
Yes, it's difficult terrain. Yes.
Right. So that's as far as he goes. How much damage does he take?
How much did he move? 10 feet?
10 feet.
Oh. You got it.
2d4 per 5 feet is pretty good.
I did not roll very well, though. That's 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Unconscious.
By the time he is out of the spikes, he looks pretty badly hurt.
Oh my gosh.
He could have stopped after 5 feet.
He could have just not moved.
Yeah, and this one takes takes a dash action. Runs further away.
He just runs away.
These other 2 pick up their weapons and are going to make longsword attacks against this thing. There's 1 hit and 1 miss for one of them, and then 2 misses for the other one.
Is that one Torin? That one's probably Torin.
Torin is not here.
I know.
It's not Torin.
Was the guy who ran away the one in its claw?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. Because otherwise I was going to say, what a baby.
You were going to say that anyway.
I was.
One of these deals 6 points of slashing damage to this crustacean. And then it is Elwyn's turn again.
Okay. Yeah, I am going to. Wait, did the creature have a turn? Oh no, that was a surprise round.
It'll
Got
get
it.
its turn sometime in this initiative round.
Got it. Then I am going to. Fuck it. I'm gonna cast Frostbite at it.
Okay. Is that a save on its part?
It's a con save.
Con is its best save.
Whirling my hands from where I'm sitting, and I will some of the ice to come up from the ground and twist around it.
How does a 13 do?
13 is what you needed.
Okay. So it barely makes it.
Yeah.
And that's a cantrip, so it doesn't take half, right?
That's correct. It does nothing.
Okay. Anything else for Elwyn then?
I'll just shout at the others. Don't get too close unless you want to get your legs scraped up like that other guy.
Almost did.
That's it.
Okay. It is the Shoreline Scrapper's turn now. I'm going to roll some percentile dice to see how long Dispel Magic keeps up, because I couldn't make up my mind.
I was gonna say you could just roll like a check against Tuppence's DC.
That's
per turn
true.
or something.
I'll have it make a.
Well, that's a 3rd level spell for a little tuppence.
What's
We'll have it
what's
make
the modifier that you have to roll?
A wisdom.
Is it wisdom? Okay.
That's what I'm going to have it make.
Or is it charisma?
I'm just going to go with wisdom. What is Tuppence's spell save DC?
I believe it's 13. Yep.
Okay. Magnetization is still not a thing. So it will instead just take both of these claws and chomp at the 2 wardens who are in front of it. First warden, natural 20. Second warden, also a hit.
Oh, shoot.
One of the wardens takes a good chunk of damage, but I actually have to roll this natural 20. This is going to be bad. Ooh. Ooh. So that's 9. Plus. It's exactly lethal. This warden who it gets in its second claw, basically kind of offhandedly swipes at one with the claw and kind of scrapes it. But the one that it gets in its second claw, it holds up and closes the claw. And there's a sickening crunch as metal bends. And the warden basically lets out a scream and then falls to the ground.
I can't watch.
Bye.
Right. Who's up? Let's take a look. That's the Scrapper's turn. Embers.
Right. Embers, seeing this, redoubles her efforts a little bit and walks.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna actually have it move towards you guys with this
have it move.
warden in its. Yeah, I'm having it move. So your spell does something.
Please.
5. What's its movement? 30. Okay, nice. 10, 15. It moves basically to the edge of the spike growth, bringing this warden with it.
15 feet.
Yep.
Woo, that's a lot of force. That's 19 piercing damage.
Shoot. That's really good.
Dang. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it lets out another one of those horrible roars. Oh, right. Yep. Then it's Embers.
Okay. Let me check something real quick here. Okay, I don't think this is worth doing. Embers is going to get up on a roof. How tall are these?
Let's say 30 feet. You can climb up with your movement.
Yeah, so I can get to about here. And then start raining down radiant bolts from above.
Cool.
I'm going to spend a key point to do 3 of these.
Oh, shoot.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 misses.
About
It basically pings against this thing's armored shell.
What about a 14?
14 also misses, so that one goes a little wide. You're still not used to this ability.
Yeah, but I think a 22 will hit. So that's
22 does hit. But as it hits, this thing basically withdraws into this like metal shell. Well, I guess it doesn't have a shell around it because it's dropped all its metal. Never mind. I'm going to say it can't use this reaction.
Ooh.
Yay!
Okay. Then I take 6 radiant damage.
Okay. Then, is that it for Embers?
Yep.
Rook.
All right. Yeah. Seeing that warden get cut in half, that was makes me want to move forward right next to it. So I'm going to move next to
Absolutely.
it, and I'm going to use my Thunder Gauntlet for the first time.
Yeah, we haven't seen this before.
Never seen it before. Don't even know what it does. I probably missed though. It's 15.
15 does not quite hit it.
Okay.
No.
So a swing and a miss. And that's what I can do.
Okay. Tuppence.
Tuppence is going to perform an enthralling, do an enthralling performance to see if I can charm it. DC Wisdom save DC 13.
I think you might need a minute to do that. I'm going to check real quick. Let's see. Enthralling performance. Yeah, if you perform for at least 1 minute. So this is more something you do
I see.
like at a party or in a tavern or something like that.
That's why that no work. Okay.
Yeah. Cool idea, though.
Then I'm going to do Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. That's a wisdom save?
That is a wisdom save 13.
It's not very good at wisdom.
Oh, this is going to be so good if it works.
It rolled a 6.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
Because it has to move, right?
Does
Yeah,
force
away
movement
from
count?
her. Yeah.
Away from her,
Yes.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yes.
This is going to be amazing.
Oh my god.
So when and how much does it have to move?
It's full
Okay.
speed
It's full.
as a
movement.
reaction now.
Nice.
Yes, and I rolled 12 psychic damage.
Okay.
Wow.
This is going to be the most single actions
5,
worth of
10,
damage in this whole
15.
fight, I guarantee
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Right, because it's difficult terrain, so it can only move.
Yep. So that's its
Okay.
full movement.
All right. Pray for more 4s.
2d4 per square is nothing
It's a
to
lot.
shake
It's a
at.
second level
It's
spell,
pretty
though.
good.
It's a second level spell. So I hope it's pretty good.
This is a sick combo that you two have discovered.
Yes.
Oh, wait. It's
By
a second
completely
level
by
spell.
accident.
One more D6. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Let's do more damage.
Sure.
Add another
bring
one.
it on.
It's 5
This is-
more damage.
this is like
5 more
when-
Okay.
damage.
When Nick,
Sorry,
Seven-
thank you.
17 plus.
this is like when Nick kept adding D8s on
Yeah.
Thaddeus. He's like, oh, I get 2
That's
more.
right.
Actually, I get
Oh, wait, I need
2
2 more for
more.
this thing.
Yeah, and
That's
we're like,
right.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
glad you said second level.
13 more piercing damage from walking through the spikes.
30
Oof.
total.
Okay, this
30
thing is
total
scraped
damage.
up and
Nice.
seared from Embers' bolts.
Oh man, thank you for
there's-
not making me regret
There's like
my
a
decision.
blast in its chest from the thunder. Wait, it didn't take thunder gauntlet damage, but it's got
No,
a
almost.
crossbow bolt in it. This thing is looking rough. Yeah,
Would you say it's looking real rough?
real rough. That's
Real rough.
Tuppence.
Real
The
rough.
soldiers.
rough.
Yeah, this one on the edge of the map runs away. Just is gone.
Do it.
This final soldier here, though, only has a long sword, has no ranged weapons, has seen the effects of the spikes.
We got this. Get to safety.
Yeah. Come inside.
Okay. And he
Go
just-
help your friend.
He begins to run away. So that's the soldiers. Elwyn.
Great. Well, I'm just gonna try frostbite again.
Okay. It's a con save.
Yep.
Not a bad roll, but it's worse than last time by 1. It's a 12, which is a fail.
That's a fail. Great. This is a D6. 4. 4 cold damage.
Okay. It's still standing on those lobstery legs of its. And then it's its turn. We'll see if it gets its magnetic shell back. It actually does, miraculously.
Oh, shit, I could have. Oh, never mind.
There's a pulse that goes out from the creature. Let me see how far each of you are away. Rook is the only one in range. Let's see. And you are wearing metal armor. That's great.
Oh, no.
You are pulled 25 feet towards it.
In the air or through the terrible
I
thing?
don't think you can take the damage on forced movement.
Isn't that what
We-
Tuppence's
That's what we
thing did?
determined
Well,
with. Like,
Tuppence's wasn't forced movement because he moved. He had to use
Yeah.
his reaction to move.
I see.
but this is something that we figured out with like in last campaign with Thaddeus, right?
Yeah, Rook, did you get an OA when it moved away from you?
No. Was I supposed to?
You would
I figured,
have.
I figured that was forced movement. So I
No,
didn't
it's not. It's
try
not
to take
forced
it.
movement. It doesn't count
No.
as it.
Do you want me to take one real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
And if this hits, we'll just say it's like as it pulls you in, you thunder.
Oh
gauntlet.
yeah, so I
Which is
fly at
epic.
it, and I rolled a 21 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, so yeah, he pulls me in, and I'm like, "You're stuck in here with me, buddy." And I got max damage. That's 12 damage.
Okay, so as it lets out this pulse and all this metal begins to like reassemble back onto it and form this shell, which it begins to attempt to draw in. Like it attempts to sort of draw into this shell, granting itself extra AC, but you rolled high enough that you punch through it anyways. So you're like basically pulled straight towards this thing. What does it look like when you thunder gauntlet it?
I think Rook's he already knew
to
this was-
death, let me say.
Yeah, he already knew that he was gonna get pulled in when he saw the magnetic thing. So he's like ready for it, and once it starts, he like jumps into it and like puts as much strength as he can into this hit and punches him basically right in the face.
And yeah, the crustacean face basically just like crumbles and like all the magnetic things that were attached to it sort of fall to the ground. And it moves no more. And as the group of you kind of survey the after effects of, or the aftermath of this battle, there's, you know, the spikes of ice covering the terrain. There's this massive creature and all of its like scraps of metal. There's this crumpled warden who did not escape the claw. You hear a sound from above, sort of a loud beating of wings, and you look up in time to see dipping down from the dark, snowy cloud layer, the glinting scales of a white dragon whoosh directly over the Thrim's Gate. On its back, you can see the massive form of a from it's hard to tell, but you think from this angle she might be like this big kind of hulking strong one-armed woman, and she just basically is swooping across the battlements of the city, and as she does so you can hear cheers from across the city. The dragon strafes downward, and you can see the woman pulls out from like a pouch at her side a syringe and injects it into the dragon's neck. And as she does so, there's a soft, pale bluish glow in the dragon's neck. And then this icy breath just emerges from its mouth. And basically like it strafes down a street as it does that, presumably annihilating whatever was in its way. And after it makes that strafe, the woman basically like leaps off of the dragon's back while she's still 30 feet in the air and disappears from sight as she just basically swooshes down into the ground, probably making a dent in the street as she goes, as Kalea Birdcrusher arrives, and the group of you are free to make your way to the Thrim's Gate.
I brush off my skirts. wave my hand, the spikes melt into water, and I'm like, all right, let's go. I
Yes,
just start running.
the Dragon Spear is
Lobster
here.
rolls
It's time
for
that we
lunch.
left.
And
Sorry,
that's
what
where
was
we'll end
that,
today's
Embers?
episode.
Wait, what did Nick say?
The Dragon Spear is here. It is time that we left.
Yes.
And that's where we'll end today's episode. So we'll be back with more of this Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch. I think next episode is going to be very exciting. I'm glad that we got this episode to do a little bit of practice combat with your level 3 abilities, because that'll mean that means next time you guys fight, it'll be extra exciting. So, yeah, we'll be back then. So hope to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.